All right. Look at us. What we do?
Okay, I'm gonna hang up now.
Okay.
All right. All right. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, all. Come
Good
on in, tap the
morning.
screen as you come in. Share the live. Let me go ahead and invite some folks.
How do you do that?
Okay, so if you go down, hold on, because you know I don't know what I'm doing when it. Okay, so if you do share, you'll be able to share your live.
Okay.
Welcome in, guys. Welcome. Good morning. I'm gonna leave my headphones in so y'all don't hear the air conditioner because look, I cannot cut it off. I will die. You understand me? I will die over here.
Where did I just go live?
Come on in,
I'm going live.
guys.
I'm going live on Instagram too,
Ooh.
just to really get back into the algorithm.
Okay.
So if we get questions over here, I'll just tell you what they are.
Okay. Good
But
deal.
I don't really know what I'm doing, so let's go start.
Hey, Mr. Nola. Good morning. Glorious sunrise, folks. Glorious sunrise coming in.
All right, cool. So let me put this. I need another.
I'm like really brown. Maybe it's because I've been in the sun. I don't. It's not a filter though.
It's not.
Mm-mm. I was like, let me take off it. I don't want no filters on here. Maybe it's
Hold on,
more light.
y'all. Oh shit. Hold on Instagram. I don't know. Okay. Oh fudge. Stay. Stay. Okay.
Come on in, guys. Tap the screen as you come on in. Share the live. Hashtag FYP. Put us out on the FYP page. All that good stuff. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We're on a little, well, it's not too early for us. Hello, Miss Tink. Hey, Miss Letitia.
Well, we didn't have any technical difficulties, which is what I expected. So,
How you gonna put that on us, teacher?
well, you could always. It's always something, child.
Okay. But we're going to transcend that because we are here for a purpose. Glorious sunrise, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm tired, but we got it together.
But we are here.
So, yes, please invite others. Invite others in. Share the live. Hashtag FYP. Tap that screen. Let's bring more people in.
All right,
This
give me a
is a
second.
1 hour spiritual Q&A talking about your spiritual journey, spirituality, as well as manifestation. So, I'm bringing to you a wonderful woman on my end, Tidra Chanel. I'm gonna say this about Tidra. Like I said, I tell you guys all the time. There's very few people that I trust to actually read my energy, and she's one of them. Very highly gifted, knows her stuff. So yeah, I bring her to you guys, especially my folks. If you're not following her, make sure you follow her. Make sure you hop on over there and follow.
Yes, good day, y'all. I'm very tired. So if my energy is a little, just charge it to my head, not my heart. But I am here. So we're gonna get started at 9. So in a few minutes, we're gonna allow people to come on. I really don't know how to use Instagram Live. I don't even know how to invite people.
Don't ask me
Ratchet.
about that. I don't know if somebody can help her. If somebody on my end knows how to use Instagram, if you want to hop over on her side, and then if any of my mods, if we can get maybe one or two mods, if I don't know how many I got in here, maybe I only got one or two. If I got at least one mod that can go over there and kind of manage her side for her, I would appreciate that as well.
So I figured it out. I
Okay, Miss
was.
Tink. Miss Tink, can you go over there and help her on her side, kind of manage, be the bouncer, be the spiritual bouncer?
I feel like we need some music.
We do. I think we can play music on here. I know we couldn't do it on like YouTube or IG, but I think you can play music in the
That
background.
is true. I don't think you can on Instagram.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I don't think you can.
Nope, I don't think so either.
which is horrible. My voice, I sound like a man. Do I sound like a man?
No, you don't. Teacher, don't you get started. All right, we got about 2 more minutes for people to come in. Tap the screen, guys. Share the live. Do all that good stuff. Let's get more people in here. Just wiping my hands down with my Florida water.
Yeah, mine is in my bathroom. So,
I don't think teacher, did you want her to post anything over there? It's going to be Tickle Me Tink is coming over on your side to be your spiritual bouncer.
oh, okay. So, what do you mean? What do you mean? Do I have
Does
to?
she? Okay, so with my mods, they'll post things because we're not doing any readings. This is going to be a Q&A. So, is there something that you would like her to repetitively post for your people to see on your side?
No, not that I
Okay,
can think of aside from just liking and the usual.
yeah.
Hey, on Instagram, we are going to get started in like 1 minute. So, if any of you on this side have any spiritual questions, questions about a spiritual walk, manifestation, magic, anything like that, you guys can ask, and myself and Karika will answer you all's questions. No problem. So, y'all can just post it in the chat, and I'll let her know what the questions are, okay? I
You'll have
really
to
want to.
convey. You'll have to convey the answer to your people because I don't. They can't see me and
Right,
can't see.
exactly. Yeah, 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 I will. Yeah. All right. So you want to go ahead and get started? You can start by introducing yourself.
Okay. So for those who are new here, welcome. For those who are coming back, welcome back. We are a small spiritual family that's come together over the last year. What I am, I'm a spiritual, you could say a spiritual life coach. I am a oracle. I am a healer. I am a reader, a tarot reader. And so I'm here to help you to heal. That's the main purpose for me being here is to help you to heal, to get you on the road to your healing. Um, so yeah, that's a little bit about me.
And what was that one thing that started you on your journey?
Ooh, the dark night of the soul. Is that what you're asking about?
But did you
Okay.
know that's what it was? Or did you
I
just feel
had
like your life was
no
falling apart?
I felt like my life was falling apart. Those who are on my side who kind of know my story, I'll kind of reiterate my story. So I have actually been very religious, more so than spiritual. I was almost 20 years as a Jehovah's Witness. So, knowing I always needed to have a connection to source, to the divine, to God, to Almighty, whoever you want to call it or whatever you want to call it. I always knew I needed to have that connection, and coming from the childhood and the upbringing that was so abusive, it was so imperative that I had that connection. And so I used religion as my vehicle to get there for almost 20 years. And I always felt like a fraud. I always felt like a fraud because I sat there and I knew I had all these abilities. I knew I could, read people. I knew I could access energy. I knew things, but I ran from it because religion teaches you what that is bad. What you're
Right.
doing is demonic. What you're doing is attached to something that is evil. And so like I said, I went hard in the paint, watchtower and awake, to try to kind of bridge that gap to make sure that I had that connection. And then finally, about, I want to say 3.5, 4 years ago, Spirit said, there's no more running. They were like, there's no more running. It is time for you to really step into who you are. And I was literally plunged into the dark night of the soul. Everything that I had worked for 40 years was stripped one by one by one away from me. Homes, cars, livelihood, every single thing. And I was struggling to try to hold on. I was like trying to hold on to everything, and eventually I something just said stop, just stop, surrender. And that's
Mm-hmm.
when I started seeking and trying to figure out what the heck was going on. And that's when
Yeah.
my spiritual journey, that fool's journey, started.
Right. Right. Y'all on Instagram, if you guys have any questions in regards to manifestation or spirituality, just put them in the chat, okay? Um, where did it start for me? Well, I think for me, It was in 2012. I was raised in a church. I went to church 8 days a week and twice on Sunday. Like, raised in a church. I wasn't forced to go to church, but I was raised in a church. And one thing that I started to realize is that I suffered from depression really horribly growing up, and it ran into my adult life as well. And um, so I was like, the land of milk and honey, all of the things, ask, believe, receive, like, where are the things? You know what I'm saying? Where is this freedom? Where is this? You know what I'm saying? Where is it?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't getting it at the church. And the church that I belonged to, um, everybody was broke. Everybody was on the struggle bus. And I'll never forget this. It was New Year's. Around New Year's Eve, I think it was, the bishop had this brilliant idea to plant these little plants, right? And everybody would get a plant. You get to plant it, and we were supposed to watch them grow, and it was supposed to be symbolic of your abundance growing. So the more the plant grew, child, why all the plants died?
Because in religion, that's where what happens. All the plants die.
Right. So I was
So,
like, so I left the church. All right. Because the math stopped mathing. Okay.
mhm.
So fast forward, I was super depressed. I attempted to kill myself in 2012, October, and I was in a behavioral center for 11 whole days. And I was in there with people who actually had mental challenges. And so I was like, okay, so my life ain't that bad. I'm not hearing voices in my head. I'm not, dealing with the things that these people are dealing with.
Mhm.
So even though I didn't start that year, that's when the light bulb went off. And I said, okay, something got to change. Fast forward to 2013, I had a newborn. And, I'm looking at all six of my children, and we're in this two-bedroom apartment that's roach infested. The rent was $578 a month, and I couldn't even afford that. Like, I was to the point where I couldn't afford to pay attention, let alone my bills. My car got repossessed. So I was scrolling on Instagram, and I saw a book, and someone had posted a book, and it was Think and Grow Rich. And
Good book.
while I could not afford a life coach at the time, I could afford a book from Amazon. So I went on Amazon and got this book, my first copy. I still have it. It was $4.32, and that is how my journey began.
Again.
And I call that my Bible, because that was the book that showed me or taught me that all of the power that I need is within, and
Okay.
everything that I want, I can have it, you know? And so now at this point, I have 5 copies of the book. I had six, I gave one away. So that's pretty much how my journey began. And I started teaching on YouTube, probably 2015 or so. And
Mhm.
that is how my journey began. So on Instagram, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat.
Mhm.
So our first question is: is there anything I can do to make visualization more vivid?
For me,
Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
say this. For me, guided meditations. Um, if you tap into a good meditation, it's going to help you visualize everything. Um, for my mentors in my mentorship group, we work on meditations, and part of that, part of what we're doing is timeline jumping.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can visualize your higher self, when you can visualize the life that you're going after, it becomes very real to you.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes very real to you. So for beginners, people that are just starting out, a good guided meditation. Tedra, make sure you check out her website. She's got a good guided meditation, so make sure you check that out. But for me, that's how I was able, because I was like, going into spirituality from religion, I was like, this is all some hoity-toity, some hocus pocus
Right.
magic.
Right.
Let me try to find things. And so meditation was not something, they were like, stay away from meditation, stay away from hypnosis, because that's the devil.
Right.
And so getting into that, you try to lay there and you try to quiet the mind. Like, I can't quiet this mind. I can't quiet anything. So a good guided meditation from a very trusted source makes a whole lot of difference in you being able to really visualize your manifestations. But visualizing your manifestations is only a part of the plan. It's only a small fraction of actually bringing them to birth. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, you gotta go and touch and see and feel the thing that you want. I'm really, really big on that. It's really hard to imagine making five figures, six figures a month, right? And so I tell people to get around people, even if you can't physically get around them, start following them on socials. You know what I
mhm.
mean? And look at their stories and really see how they are energetically. Now, most people are lying, but
Those
get
people
around
ain't what they
people
supposed
that
to be.
aren't. Right. And then if there's a car that you want, a house that you want, go test drive the car. Go to the model home. Go to the apartment, because that's the only way you'll be able to connect to it energetically, and take pictures and video so that you can rewatch it. So when you start to disconnect from the memory of being in the car or in the house, you can rewatch the video and it'll bring you back there. Does that make sense? So you have to see it in order to see it. Does that make sense? Okay. How do
You
you
guys,
deal?
oh,
Yeah.
hold on. You guys, if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat. I'll go ahead and let Teacher know, and we'll kind of answer them together. So you guys on my end, you can ask questions as well. I know y'all like to soak stuff up, but y'all can
Oh,
ask
because I can't
questions.
see it. Oh, so
Yep,
we
you can't
can't
see
see
it.
each other's.
Uh-uh.
Oh,
Uh-uh. So
okay,
yeah.
okay, okay. Okay. So how do you deal with the visions and trust what is being sent to you?
How do I okay, first of all, I had to learn how to trust myself. And you have to learn
Yeah.
how to trust your intuition and that inner
Yeah.
voice. Because there's a lot of different techniques out there. There's a lot of different gurus. There's a lot of different people who are touting spirituality. There's a lot of different tarot readers out here that are
Mm-hmm.
doing the same thing, and you have to crowd out those external factors. And first
Mm-hmm.
of all, trust yourself. If you guys know me, especially on my side, I teach you guys implicitly that you have got to rely on your intuition. I will
Yeah.
always tell you when you come to me for a tarot read, what does your intuition tell you?
Right.
What is your intuition telling you? Because if you're not even leaning on that internal voice yourself, if you doubt yourself, it's sort of like the saying, if you don't stand for something, you can't stand for yourself, you'll fall for anything. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's how you first, you have to clean up the clutter internally so that you can hear that internal voice loud and clear. And that's where a lot of healing comes in. So a lot of people they don't know the difference between feelings and emotions and intuition. They're insecure. A lady asked me a couple of days ago, I don't know the difference between my insecurity and said my intuition. And like I told her, I
Mm-hmm.
said, your intuition isn't going to hurt you. Your insecurities will.
Yes, Lord.
So, yeah, so you have to, like I said, understand the difference and start to really listen to who you are as a person. Not
Mm-hmm.
and even internally, not the emotions, disconnect from the heart. The intuition is not the heart. The intuition is that gut. What does your gut say? That first initial reaction when you hit something. That's the intuition.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree with that. You have to listen to what I call your inner GPS, which is your intuition. And we all have that bullshit meter. If there's bullshit around, you have to know that it's really there, and um, pivot accordingly. Okay, so I don't know if you want to tell me what types of visions, if you want to um, further explain your question, then I can give you a better answer. But just based on what you said, definitely leaning on your own intuition. Okay. What are ways to get myself to be more consistent with getting my manifestations? Let me take this one first, because this Danielle,
That's you.
let me slap you through the phone, okay? Because we have gone through this, ma'am. We have gone through this. So, first of all, it's vital that we all understand that we are always manifesting. Okay. It's also vital that you understand what the word manifest means. It simply means to make appear. Okay. So we are manifesting the good, the bad, and the ugly. All right. One way or another, you manifested it, whether it's coming from an internal energy or an outside energy that's in your environment that is affecting your manifestations. Okay. So it goes back to making sure you got to connect to your why. Like, why do you want a thing? And a lot of people want certain things because they see other people have it. And that's not what you really want, which is why you're not driven to get it. You get what I'm saying? So you need to become crystal clear on what it is that you actually want and why you actually want it. Because me, I have goals. So that's why I get my ass up every day and work. Girl, I haven't slept since the night before. What is it? Last night? No, night before last. I can't even get it. The night before last. But, there's a reason that we're here and I still had to show up. You know what I mean? So you got to show up even when you don't feel like it, because that's the only way that you're going to get to where you're trying to go.
True.
So that's what makes vision boards so powerful. If you create a vision board and you keep it in front of you, my vision boards are digital, they're on my devices. So my stuff is always in front of me. There has to be something that drives you to be consistent. And manifestation is belief and execution. Like, it's both. You can't just believe your way into getting everything that you want. It don't work like that. I tried. It does not work like that at all. Right? So part of you is going to have to execute. So if you are not being pushed or pulled to or attracting your intentional manifestations, then maybe it's not something that you actually want. But at the end of the day, we got to let go of the laziness and the procrastination, and we have to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, friend, today you just being lazy. And that's just what it boils down to. You know what I mean? You got to get up and you have to do it, because the only way your life is going to change is if you show up to change your life. You got anything
Exactly.
to add?
I would definitely say that. I feel like part of where people fall short in their manifestations is that they lack action. You have to get into alignment. I always tell you guys, 4 months ago I came to you guys on here. I said I'm moving to Tampa. Y'all were like, what? Where this guy? I'm moving to Tampa. And in order to get here to Tampa, where I am today, I had to put myself in alignment with that
Position.
goal.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there is, like she said, laziness, procrastination. You're only hurting yourself, and you're only delaying what it is that you're trying to bring. We do have two questions over here, teacher.
Okay.
The first one was from Marlo. He said, "Are there limits to manifestations?" And I would say no. You're only limited by your imagination.
There are no limits. The sky is not even the limit, because there's something beyond the
Boom.
sky.
Exactly. And that's what I told somebody. Somebody said, "Oh, the sky's the limit." I said, no, bull crap. The universe is
Right.
infinite."
Right. Right.
don't,
Right.
don't,
Yeah.
don't, don't don't come to me with that. The universe is infinite. And I tell you guys that all the time. There are no limits. As big
Yeah.
as you can dream it, dream it.
Yeah. There aren't any limits. I've been able to manifest so the wildest shit. Some shit I ain't really try to manifest. Um, the level in which you manifest, intentionally manifest, because remember, we're always manifesting, okay?
Hmm.
It really depends on your level of belief.
Hmm.
And so if you believe all I can have is, this 1998 Honda Accord and this, barely making it type of apartment where I might get shot if I walk outside, I might not, you know what I mean? Like, if that's what you're aligned with, then that's all you're going to get.
Hmm.
Right? So there's no caps. Absolutely not.
There is no ceiling.
No, no. When you think about how infinite nature is, and all of the blades of grass on the ground, and all of the leaves on the tree, like how can we see how abundant nature is and put limits on ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
So if you believe that you are God in manifestation, where are the limits coming from? Where are they coming from? Like, I don't believe in limits. No,
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
absolutely not. One second, Karika. Are you still mentoring and taking mentees? Stay tuned. Okay, we got something for y'all. Just stay tuned. All right. Make sure that you're following and you actually pay attention to my stories. All
Mm-hmm.
right, because we have something really incredible coming. All right. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the next question is from Alba. She said, "Is everyone psychic?" I'm going to say this. Everybody has abilities. You know how science says you only use 10% of your brain. That's the truth. Because 90% of your brain is lying dormant or sleep. So that's where the idea of, opening the third eye, becoming woke comes from. Not everybody has access to the different parts of their brain, that other 90% that is dormant. And not everybody is supposed to. That's not everybody's soul's mission, is to come
No.
into their abilities.
Yeah.
When spirit needs you, it will awaken those abilities. So to a certain degree, everybody does have psychic abilities. Now, everybody's here for a different purpose. And so your abilities and those that are stronger will show up at different times and in different strengths. Like Tedra is a manifestation. That's her wheelhouse. Mine is healing. So, but like I said, you're seeing two gifted women who have been able to gain access, who have been granted access to some of those dormant parts of our brain, and we're here to help you guys to do the same. So, yeah, to a certain degree, everybody is.
Yeah. So the way I see that is, y'all see I wear glasses. If I don't have these glasses on, girl, I can't. I'm walking into walls. Like, I cannot see. So I believe that we all have psychic abilities, but some of us can see clearer than others, right? And there's a reason for. I don't want to be psychic. Absolutely not. Like, I can see, I can hear, and I can smell in the spirit. That's enough. Like,
I done had enough.
girl, it's enough for me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I do believe that we are all psychic. It's just some of us can see clearer. That would be my answer.
Hmm.
Danielle says, I just can't be consistent for some reason. It's because you are not truly aligned with the things that you say that you want. So you
Hmm.
need to go back to the drawing board and see, what do I want and why do I want it, and make sure that you don't want it because of what the people around you say. People around us
Hmm.
can project and say, you should
Oh,
do this,
definitely.
you should do that. And it's conflicting because that's not what you really want. So you just need to figure out what you really want. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so this one is, she said, I found out my husband has been cheating. I've been meditating on it, but I don't know what to do. Let me ask you, if you know that somebody has dishonored your relationship, I got it to
Leave.
you. Leave. If somebody has dishonored you and dishonored the connection that you had, you are under no obligation to stay with them. Now,
Mm-mm.
I'm not here to tell every woman leave, 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 because every situation is different. If you feel like
Mm-mm.
it can be worked out, work it out. But if you're on here asking somebody else what to do, that's the issue. That means that you are not actively engaged in your relationship and you're not actively engaged in your life. And we got to understand why, because that's the bigger issue than somebody cheating on you.
Well, I would go. And it may not be for forever, right? But I would set that boundary and say, this is what we're not
Hmm.
gonna do. This is what we ain't gonna do, friend. And then you guys can go to therapy or start communicating, start working on your relationship. And then you will have to assess whether or not he deserves my energy in my presence. I would take a step back from it, set that boundary, and then we can go back to the drawing board. But for me, it's a hard pass. It's a
Exactly.
hard pass for me. Um,
I've got a few questions, but did you want to go ahead and start with some of yours? Because I know yours is backing up over there too. I've got two over here,
I
but go ahead.
I just want to read this comment. It's so hard. Brown Skin says, it's so hard. I literally have an office with all this stuff, but I'm not motivated. You got to connect to your why. This is why any business coach will tell you to start with your why. And if your why is strong enough, it'll override the
Mm-hmm.
procrastination. But you got to believe in yourself. And that's why a lot of us don't do certain things, is because we really don't believe that it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can see it in your mind that you're making 6, 7 figures a year in your business, then it's possible, right? It's just not gonna fall into your lap. I promise you, it's just
Mm-mm.
not. You gotta get up and you have to do the work. Okay. This is a quick one. Let me get to this one. Are there any meditations that can help with self-limiting beliefs? Yes. If you click the link in my bio, the quantum jump meditation, you should definitely jump on that. It's quick. I think it's 14 minutes, just under 15 minutes long. It is led by me, obviously. It's really easy. And if you just do what I tell you to do in the meditation, you'll get there. Also, I do have a course that's called Ready, Set, Manifest that is also in my bio. If you click the link and you use the code TikTok, it'll take 50% off of that course. I think there are about 20 lessons in that course, okay? Which is going to help you, it's going to lay the foundation and help you to clear up those limiting beliefs, understand where they're coming from, why they're there, how to get rid of them, and get you on a path to manifesting, okay? Intentionally. So the bio is where you need to be. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Let's see. Next question. What is the best way to integrate healing so that you don't repeat your mistakes?
Mm.
To heal. Once you've healed, I always tell people, the thing about healing is this: it's work, it
All
hurts,
the time work.
and nobody wants to do it.
No.
And the only way you're going to heal is by actually healing, by doing the
That's
work
it.
to heal. And that's how you integrate it. You just make the decision that you want to make a better choice. You want to have a better outcome. You want to have a better life, and you go for it. It healing. No, healing never stops. Oh, healing never. Somebody
Never.
saying healing don't stop. Absolutely, it does not stop. One thing that I always teach my people as a tarot reader, when you come into your spiritual awakening, the reason why a lot of people are drawn to tarot is for the fact that the 22 major arcanas actually tell the spiritual journey. It tells the story of the spiritual journey, and so you're starting to see your story in these cards. And every level, every level between 1 and 22, there's healing involved. There's healing involved. So healing never stops at all. And once you've healed from a situation, you'll never feel the need to repeat it again because you'll learn the lesson. And I always tell you guys, there's a lesson in everything. There's a lesson in every connection. There's a lesson in every action. These people, a lot of people, especially when we say karmic, they come into your life to expose your behaviors to you
Hmm.
so that you can clean that crap up and then you can move on and learn the lesson and never have to repeat it again. So you have to heal. You just make the determination. I'm tired of the way this is going. I'm tired of repeating patterns and I want to make a different decision, make a different choice. Make a different choice. I think me and Teacher are both. Sometimes at one point in our life, we made a different choice. I had to make the choice to relinquish, the pattern of religion. I had to relinquish my belief system. I had to relinquish self-limiting beliefs, as we were saying, and I had to start to see myself authentically as who I am, a limitless being here, having a human experience, and here to really make the most and help others to do the same. So
Hmm.
make a different choice.
Yeah. Healing is constant because you have to heal from things from this lifetime as well as other traumas that are attached to your essence. And so that's why it's a never ending story, unfortunately.
Mm-mm.
Unfortunately, yeah. Let's see. It's hard to believe when you don't see it in your day to day life. This is why I said earlier, to follow people on social that inspire and motivate you, right? Follow people who seem to be, because we don't know if real or not, but follow people who seem to be where you desire to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? Follow people who show up consistently every day, and that'll be your motivation, or should be your part of your motivation. Okay. Um, Brown Skin says, yes, it's crazy because I love hair. Literally, I start back going. God literally gives, I don't want to say it, everything. God gives me everything, but I'm also transitioning. I'm scared. I don't know if I will fail. You will fail.
You
If
will
that
fail.
is your
You'll learn.
mentality, if you say, because remember, what you focus on expands. So if you're saying, I don't know if I'm going to fail, you're going to fail. That's what you're going to attract, is the energy of failure. You have to go into it saying it has to work. There is no plan B, period.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to show up and do everything that I know to do to make this work. And I believe that on my path is provision. Where there's always vision, there's provision. And on the path, as you start, the path becomes clearer when you start walking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you feel like you're starting at a point where you don't know what the hell to do, right? You don't know, um, you feel like you need a mentor, but you don't know who's going to, you know what I mean? The teacher will appear when you start walking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There will be resources, there will be, grants and things like that that'll keep your business going, but you'll never know it if you don't start walking your path. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't start the journey, if you just at the starting yard line, it's hard to see, right? It's hard to see. The vision is going to be very foggy and unclear until you start walking. So when you think about driving, right, we've all driven through fog, right? Fog is very dense, can be. So you get in your car and you really can't even see 20 feet ahead of you, right? It becomes clearer once you start driving.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have an idea or a business idea or something like that, it's only going to become clearer when you start. So you just have to start. Get out of your head, girl. We ain't got time for dinosaurs. Get out of your head. Get out of your head. Okay? Everything becomes clearer when you start. But if you're just sitting here trying to figure it all out, you're never going to see all of the pieces or have all of the pieces to the puzzle until you start. That's just it. That's all. Right? Okay. Do you have any questions over there?
Yes. Okay. So women teach women asks, I've been doing research. Is it true that melanin people have access quicker because of the melanin? Now, melanin is a very special type of matter. Um, it does have a direct link to spirituality, and when you have it in greater quantities in your body, you do have, I want to say you do have a deeper connection. Now, is that to say that non-melanated people don't? No, 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 no. Because spirit, again, we don't ever want to think that the divine source is limited.
Right.
It's sort of like what I was telling you the other day about the goddess Yemaya. And, some people who, are traditionalists. And Yemaya is one of the deities that I work with very closely. Now, this is the elemental goddess, the mother of the ocean, the mother of all is what she's said to be. In spirituality, in Christianity, she is said to be the Mother Mary. So, but there's some practices that say, well, you have to be initiated in order to work with her. And like I tell people all the time, you're not going to tell me that this deity, this entity needs any human on earth to decide who and what she wants to work with. So again, like I said, I'm not going to ever put limits. Again, we're talking about having no limits. So there are no limits to sources at all. Like I said, I think melanin gives us a greater chance of getting there and accessing these abilities, and just having that natural inclination to spirituality. But it's not going to be the only thing. When spirit wants you, there ain't nothing on this earth that's going to stop spirit from getting you. Period.
Yeah. You have any other questions?
Let's see. She said, I made my TikTok just for that. Okay, that's the subconscious stuff is real. It's hard and okay. No, Nope, I'm good. Any other questions, guys? You can put. You're welcome, honey. You're welcome.
Okay, so, ooh, girl, I'm not even gonna try to say your name. Taranika. Taranika Elise. Is that
You sound
right?
like me.
Um, do you mind sharing some things you have manifested? Girl, what haven't I intentionally manifested? I think the very first intentional manifestation was manifesting my luxury apartment. And if y'all don't know, I have a YouTube channel. It's at Tedra Chanel, where I have been sharing manifestation tips, stories, all of the things. And that's one of my most watched videos on how I manifested my luxury apartment. I've done that a few times. At this point, I manifested my car. I am an author. I didn't bring it down here, but I have the I Am Manifestation Journal, which is available on Amazon. So the first year that I created the I Am Journal, I wrote in there that I wanted a um, Acura, Acura MDX. Now at the time, uh, I didn't have a lot of money coming in. I was working a job, and you know how that goes. But I actually manifested my exact car. The only difference was it's not black. But I manifested it 2 years ago, along with this house that we bought in 2020. Um, and I was able to pay cash for my vehicle, so I am a car no shorty. But I scripted about that car, and I scripted about this house when I was broke, and I didn't know how it was going to happen. So those are some of the bigger things that I've manifested. Um, yeah, I recently manifested an iPad. I'll share that story on my podcast because it's wild. But you can literally manifest anything. And my favorite, should I say, manifestation technique is scripting. I believe writing it down makes it real. And so I love to write a good old thing down. So yeah, I dreamt about this house when my kids and I were homeless. We were living in a hotel, and I scripted about this house that we are in. Never saw it happen. I mean, I saw it happen and didn't know when it was going to happen, but we closed on our home in 2020. So yeah, I kind of know what I'm doing just a little bit,
Hmm.
just a little bit.
I think
Any
for
other
me,
questions?
I think for
Oh,
me, I manifested an entirely, completely different life.
yeah,
Because yeah, where I am even a year
and
ago
your
is
business, and your business.
exactly
Hmm.
totally. Look,
Yeah.
like if you guys know me, I'm very transparent. Like I said, spirituality was never on my radar. I was into, I had, always had top notch jobs, had several homes, cars. We were vacationing, at the time that I was married to my ex. And at the end of that, it just wasn't happy, just was
Yeah.
not fulfilled. And I have manifested a completely different life where there is fulfillment, where there is enjoyment. Where everything that I never thought that I could walk away from a 9 to 5 and make it, in my mind, a self-limiting belief. You have to work, you have to work, you have to work for somebody. Never
Hmm.
did I think that I could work for myself and triple, quadruple my income,
Yeah.
and never have to clock in or ask anybody for no time off ever again.
Yeah.
Never did I think that I could be in front of you guys and affect so many lives to where I've got people coming to me saying, "You're the mentor that I was looking for." That wasn't me. It was not something. So yeah, you can manifest anything. There are no limits. You could completely different life, completely different lifestyle. Never did I think I would even want to move to Florida. You
Yeah.
always heard about the Florida man. I was like, I don't want to go there. That's what the Florida man's down there. I'm in Florida. I was
Yeah.
like, you know. So yeah, there's no limits. You can manifest anything that you want.
Y'all put in the chat some of the things that you want to manifest. What are some things that you all are trying to manifest right now? I want to see what they are. How do you deal with only partially manifesting something, like you get close, but the money is still off? Um, Again, you manifest according to your level of belief. Okay. You also it's also challenging to intentionally manifest when there are blockages there, when the limiting beliefs are still there. So you have to, what I call, till your garden. Okay, so we all have a garden of life that we are responsible for. And the limiting beliefs are the weeds, okay? And the rose bushes is the abundance and the prosperity that we all desire to have, right? So if you aren't tilling your soil and pulling up the weeds, which are the limiting beliefs, then the weeds are going to overtake your garden, and it's going to stifle the growth of your rose bushes, right? So if you find that you are not manifesting money or attracting money on the level that you want, then you got to go back to your garden. There's still some limiting beliefs up here that you need to uproot. Okay, that you need to identify, and then you got to pull them things up by the root. You can't just cut the grass, right? Because if you just cut the grass, then you're gonna partially manifest. You're just cutting the grass, right? You're just pushing shit down. No, you need to get rid of those fucking weeds, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Exactly. I totally agree. Um, a lot of times when you can't quite get to your manifestation, as Cedar said, there's blockages. There's unresolved healing that needs to happen. Um, there's lessons that have to be learned. Sometimes it's divine timing. It's not the time for it. And there's things that you have to do first. There's steps that have to be taken first in order to get there. When I first started on my spiritual journey, and I would go to tarot readers, and Tedra was one of them. She would always be like, "Girl, every time I throw cards, it's money. Every time I throw cards, it's
Yes,
money."
it
And
was.
I was like, "What the hell? Y'all seeing all
Where is
this
it?
money?
Where's the
Exactly.
money?
Where is it? I'm doing all this work, but nothing's coming to fruition." And one morning I woke up in spirit. I get a lot of my downloads when I wake up. It's like, oh, the light bulb goes, and it's a ding dong. You have a generational curse. Ding dong, you have healing blocks. You've got ties and cords that need to be, like she said, removed. I don't ever cut ties. This is off subject. I don't ever cut ties. I remove them. There's a difference. Like she said, the analogy of, the weed, because that's what a blockage is, or a tie is. It's like an energetic parasite, an energetic weed.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go and take that lawnmower and you just cut the top off, that's fine. It looks nice.
Right.
It's fixed for a period of time, but then what happens is, you come back, that dandelion starts to grow in a couple of days. It's back. You
Mm-hmm.
have to
Mm-hmm.
take it out by the root. And when they taught me that, and when they taught me how to remove that from my life, 3 weeks later, I was on here. 3 weeks later, my life took off, and that was a year ago. I was like, yo, who knew? So yeah, there could be blocks to your manifestations that you have to address. There could be things, self-doubt, self-limiting beliefs. It could be other people's BS that you've taken on as your own. It could be
Mm-hmm.
somebody in your life, a relationship that you're tied to, that isn't going to let you progress forward, that you have to get rid of first in order to get to where you want and get the manifestations that you want. So you do have to look at that. If you are working your butt off and you keep coming up against a brick wall, that's a dead giveaway to me that there's a blockage.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes the things that we want don't belong to us.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes we are settling, and source wants us to have more. So if you are settling, then you're not going to get the thing, right? You just got to believe bigger. But you have to start with identifying and uprooting those limiting beliefs. Like I said, Ready, Set, Manifest will help you guys do that. And I believe this is Leah asking this question. Leah, you have RSM. So you need to go and retake it if you're still having that question, okay? Um, Okay, I'm at a job I absolutely hate and know it's affecting my vibration.
Mm,
I want to walk away because I know I can start my own business, but I'm scared of not having money. Then you're not going to have money, right?
exactly. You're letting fear rule your life. You're letting fear govern your life. If
What
you
you fear, what you fear will appear,
mhm.
period. So if that's your fear, then that's what you're going to manifest.
Like I
Okay,
said, for
you got to
me,
shift.
exactly. I thought, and the way that this world is set up, the way our society is set up, is to integrate you into quote unquote the matrix. You have to do a 9 to 5 because that 9 to 5 doesn't benefit you. It benefits the matrix. So at the end of the day, it's like Beyonce said, not that I, care about, who she is or anything like that, but this was true. She said, if I'm going to bet on anybody, I'm going to bet on myself.
Period.
If I'm going to put any work in for anybody, it's going to be for me, not for somebody else's benefit. And then I'm just got my hands out and I'm getting crumbs. Screw all that. Screw all that. And when it was so freeing that day that, I'm on my Zoom with, my manager, and she's like, well, we've been watching you. Okay. All right. And I had to tell exactly. That's what I was like, you stalker. I had to tell my youngest son, who was, I was homeschooling. I said, step outside the room. And when I said that, she knew I was coming. And like I told her, I said, this is your career. This is a job to me. Those are two different things.
Right.
Those are two different things.
Yes,
and from that day on, I said, effective immediately, you have my resignation. And I haven't looked back since. Y'all know, I felt so good. She was like, oh no, that's not, well, that's what you just set up. And you can have your job back. So no, bet on yourself. Don't allow fear to stop you. Your potential, the potential that you have, that you can put into yourself is without limits. So then why are you allowing fear to limit you?
Right. Yeah, and Danielle, I know we had this conversation before. You have to again decide what is it that you want, because I remember before you really didn't know. Mm-hmm. So you definitely still got to be smart, right? You don't want to walk away from a job if you don't have a clear plan in place, right? That would be foolish. So you need to get your plan in place and create that exit strategy. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to believe that that you will be okay, more than okay, with your business. Someone asked, "Who are you talking to?" This is Karika on TikTok. That is who is joining me today, Miss Karika. I always want to say Karika, and you know it.
I know.
I look hard. I said that. That's how it's spelled. Okay. So Alicia says that she wants to manifest a house, new career, money, car, and starting a business. I'm manifesting a large sum of money. I'm manifesting a large. Okay. We got to work on that. Okay. What can I do about spiritual attacks? That I feel blocks. Okay. I guess you're saying spiritual attacks that are blocking your healing and manifestation. Yeah. Woo, Chile. I have been attacked spiritually. I think we all have at this point. Mm-hmm. But I'll let you take that one.
Okay.
I'll let you take that one.
Okay. So part of what I do is to clean energy and to remove entities from people. If you feel like, and I like you said, matter of fact, a couple months ago, I had a spiritual attack come on me, and I shared it with my people. I was sleeping. I had my grandson in my bedroom with me because he wasn't feeling well. So I told my son, I said, give him to me, as grandma do, give him to me. I'll take care of him. And I had just got him comfortable. I had just laid down next to him, and I was just falling asleep. I was in that in-between stage, and I could feel myself wanting to astral project. And I said, no. I don't want to do it. And so I felt myself coming back. And as soon as I came back, I could feel something was trying to pull the covers over my head. And I woke up. I was like, yo. Or so I thought I woke up. And, I'm sitting around in my room like everything is exactly as it should have been. And I'm falling back to sleep. And I feel like the dream started over, and the same experience where the covers were being pulled over my head. And then I really woke up. I was like, yo, what the heck is going on? I'm looking for my tourmaline. I'm looking, for my spray. I'm like, let me clear this energy. And I couldn't find any of my stuff. And I went back to sleep for a third time. And it started all over again. And this time they were able to successfully, in the dream, get the cover over my head. And I remember having my guides and my ancestors came right away. And that's part of your protection is your guides and your ancestors. If you do not have a connection with your guides and your ancestors, you're leaving yourself open and vulnerable to spiritual attacks, because your guides and your ancestors will come up real quick. They're like spiritual bouncers.
Right.
Tobias don't play. He'll come in and clear out the whole damn room. First of all, let's work on the connection that you have to your guides and your ancestors. Second of all, start to remove any entities. It could be that you have people around you that you should not have around you, that have things attached to them that are attacking you and yours. It could be that you have beliefs and habits and you're opening yourself up. A lot of the things that we do, such as if you're trying to do candle magic, if you're trying to do any type of work, those are portals that you're opening up at any given time. And if you don't know how to control those portals, if you don't have the ability or the authority to do that work, you're leaving yourself very vulnerable to spiritual attacks. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different topic. So we would have to definitely see. What I would recommend is to get a full reading so that you can come to me so that I can assess what's going on. So I honestly see what it is and where this is coming from. And then every full moon, I do a ritual. It's called the Clear and Cleanse. It's coming up on the 14th of this month, which is the strawberry super moon in Sagittarius, which is going to be very, very strong, coming on the front of the summer equinox. And that is to remove parasitic. I remove bindings, ties, blockages, cords, generational curses, and hexes. So if you've got any of those things that are affecting your life, leaving you unable to move forward, stagnating your energy, get that done. There is something to be said about cleansing your energy. Like I said, when I did it for myself, 3 weeks later, my blockages were gone. And I was on here, and everything that teacher had told me in the past I was like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to remove that energy, and you have to also maintain and keep your energy clean. I tell you guys all the time, it's not just a one and done. It is a continual fight to stay as energetically vibrational as you can, as high vibing as you can. Because a lot of times, if you're high vibrational, a lot of these low lying frequency energies cannot touch you. They cannot touch you.
Yeah.
So I would stop.
Yeah, I dealt with a lot of spiritual attacks younger, when I was younger, falling asleep, and I would deal with that sleep paralysis,
Mm-hmm.
and I would be literally stuck, and there was this red face that would appear, but I wasn't asleep. I was awake, and I would see these things, and I don't even like talking about this because I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand spiritual attack, but I also want to talk about it from a different viewpoint. Sometimes it's not an attack. Sometimes it's there to help you strengthen a gift, and it's there um, to show you that there is something greater for you to do, right? So you have to figure out where exactly this is coming from. But most of the time, it's going to be attachments, okay? And these attachments could be to your bloodline, they could be coming through based on your beliefs in some of your spiritual quote unquote weaknesses, that those weak points where energies and entities can get in, right? So you just really have to figure out where they are coming from. But absolutely, blocks, lack of healing will definitely hinder your manifestations every time.
Mm-hmm. Every
Every
time.
time. Yeah.
Every time. I did have a question over here. It says, are you finding the more you grow spiritually that being single is easier than being married? I don't necessarily think so. My personal, okay, so I was married twice, and it was my own fault that I was married twice because I didn't listen to my intuition. At that time, I was not tapped into any of my gifts. That was earlier on, in my early 20s. I feel like you can come in contact with counterparts that are just as spiritual as you, just as, on the same frequency, on the same vibratory field as you, and you guys can help each other grow. It's dependent on you making the correct choices, you using your intuition. But you should be good either way if you're tapped into that intuition. You should be good either way. You know, you know when somebody ain't right for you. Stop sticking around. Stop allowing them, you know, space in your life. And you know when people are. I mean, if you can have friends that last forever, you can have a partner that lasts forever. If you can have friendships that span, you know, 20, 30 years, you can have a partnership with a, you know, a divine counterpart that spans that amount of time as well.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. You guys on Insta, I'm gonna have to restart because it's giving me the countdown and I want to make sure that this saves. Okay. So y'all come right back. I'm gonna end this one and start another one, all right? All right.
Somebody asked me what was the reading. Okay, so are you asking about the clearing? Is that what you're asking, Blue GB? You're asking about the ritual? If you go onto my website, it's called the Clear and Cleanse. It's the full moon clear and cleanse. You would also need to book a full reading, and you can book that online on my website as well. So, like I said, if you're experiencing stagnation, if you're experiencing blockages, hey, honey, how are you? Get on my website and we can, like I said, we'll sit face to face. My readings is a 30-minute video chat, and we will go over your energy. You can ask as many questions as you need to, and we're going to dig deep so that, because this is the ritual that I perform is based off of angelic intervention. So when you send those angels in, we're cleaning house. We are cleaning house.
Okay, this is taking forever.
Yeah, well, that's Instagram.
Jeez. Okay, there we go. All right. Perfect. All right. So what am I doing? Live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 Okay. So I think she already kind of answered that one. Someone says I watched the video about the car. That one had me in tears. Was it the when I was sitting in my car when I was talking about my home in the car, home ownership and passive income to allow more time to spend with my kids? So for those of you who are posting the things that you desire to manifest, what's stopping you, or what do you feel is stopping you? I have to put the things in my eyes. How do I fix that? Is it this thing? Hold on.
I've got someone saying they want to manifest their own business, financial freedom, traveling around the world, and impacting lives. Again, the question is, what stops you?
What is stopping you?
What is stopping you? Because if that's what you want, why aren't we going for it?
For some reason, I can't bring myself to be consistent. So again, you gotta connect to your why. Your why is gonna keep you consistent.
Exactly. You
Your
got to
your
want it more
why.
than anybody. If you don't, I mean, if you're not willing, it's sort of like what I always tell people. I'm not going to fight harder for your spirituality in your fight than you do. You
Yeah.
got to fight for it. Nobody's going to give it to you. This is part of this spiritual journey that we're all here. We're here to understand how we honor ourselves and how we show up. A lot of times we don't show up for ourselves.
We
We don't show
don't.
up in our own. We don't show up in our own lives, and then we don't have the lives that we want. Start showing up. Start changing it around. Change it around.
Yeah. Let's see. Fabulous says I have no idea, and I think she's referring to what's stopping you. Yeah. Guys, again, connect to your why. Create that vision board of the things that don't put bullshit on your vision board. Put things that you actually
Connect
desire
with.
to have, right? Don't, you know, we live in the now. I love my designer stuff. Y'all know that. I love my designer things. But don't let me and other people who love design, because I don't think you're really into it, right?
Mm-mm.
See, don't let what I put out there make you think that that's what you have to have and that's what success looks like. Okay? Don't do that. Like, if that's not what you really want, then don't go after that. You have to put the stuff on your board that you really want. You might want to live in a cabin in the woods. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? And that's okay. Now, that for me, I don't like bugs, so that's not my life. Right? but for you, that may be what you want. So go after what you want and not what society tells you should have, or what society says this is what you need in order to look successful. Because I guarantee you, most people who look successful are broke. They're
Mm-hmm.
in debt, and that's the life that they live. But I'm here to tell you that everything I have, it was paid for with cash because I don't like debt. I don't believe in that. You know what I mean? So don't go broke and stress yourself out chasing somebody else's dream. Don't do that. Don't do
Exactly.
that.
You have
But
to know thyself.
yes. Yes, but create that vision board for yourself and keep that in front of you. Don't create a vision board and then put it in a drawer. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
keep it in front of you, and that should be your motivation. Seeing the trips that you want to take, the home, the cars, all of the things, the health, the love, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
keep that in front of you, that should be your motivation. And if it's not motivating you in a way, then it's probably not what you really want.
Exactly. If you're not attacking it, if you're not going after it with gusto, that's not where your heart is. And I always tell my people, go for what you're passionate about. Where your passion lies is where you're going to put the most effort into. So yeah, definitely. I remember, teacher, when I was doing your Ready Set Manifest, and you had us doing those vision boards, and I put my car up there. You were like, "That's it." It was a platinum. It was a platinum.
I did
Nissan
say that,
Maxima.
didn't
You
I?
were like, "Is that it?" I was like, "Girl, I said, first of all, I don't like cars. I don't like to drive." So I said that was always a car. Even from a young age, that I had always. I said I'm very simple. Everything about me is very, very simple. And even now, and be ready for your visions to change. Again, I come from a lifestyle. When you really get into this spiritual journey and you start to understand your purpose and things like that, and you start to understand how to determine what that purpose is. Me and teacher, we were talking about how you can use astrology. And I tell my people all the time how you can use astrology to figure out your purpose with your north and south node. And my south node was all about Taurus. Taurus was again, it's earth sign. So you're talking about the creature comforts. You're talking about luxury. You're talking about money. That's my past life energy. And I came into this life doing the same thing, having multiple houses, multiple cars, all that stuff. And spirit was like, that is not your focus. My north node, which is the complete opposite, is Scorpio. Scorpio is all about the esoteric, the mystic, spirituality. My gifts here in this life was to focus on my spirituality and bringing those spiritual gifts to the fore. And I was talking to my cousin yesterday when we were out in the ocean, because I go to the beach all the time now that I'm here in Florida to cleanse. And I said, I feel like spirit, because they keep telling me be ready to pivot. They've taken up everything that I could have put roots into. I don't have that anymore. And I'm like, okay, spirit, so you're not wanting me to lay roots anywhere? And coming to the realization that the freedom that comes with not having any attachments, practicing detachment from anything except for my children,
Mm-hmm.
is freedom indeed, because I can literally go anywhere in this world that I want at
It's,
any given moment. And I've never ever dreamed that that would have been the lifestyle that would appeal to me. But now I'm like, I'm afraid. I'm like, I really don't want Bruce. I
right.
really don't want it. So as you go along and as you get to know yourself, the things that you desire will actually change. I came across this book. It's called It Works, written back in 1926, and they were talking about scripting, writing down what you want, and how when we first start out, we're going to be writing down materialistic things, money, like I want $50,000, whatever. And as you grow spiritually, it's going to shift. No longer am I saying I want $1 million. I say, spirit, endow me with the ability to help, you know, a mass amount of clientele that will bring me $1 million.
Right.
That's a whole different type of manifestation. That's a
It
whole different type of
is.
manifestation.
On my path, once you get the money, you don't really. It's not ever the money that you want. It's the
Mm-mm.
feeling that it's what money allows you, or how having money allows you to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the feeling that comes with that. So it's not the money that you want; it's the feeling that you want. Okay, and there's a book by Neville Goddard. It's called "The Feeling
Mm-hmm.
Is the Secret." Okay, so it's never about the money per se. Because if I were to walk up to y'all and say, okay, if I were to give you everything that you want, perfect health, the homes, the cars, the vacations, all of the things, or you get nothing, would you say, "Nah, I'm just wait around for the millions of dollars. I'm straight." No, you would want just give me the stuff, right? Because that's what I need the
Mm-hmm.
money for, right? So it's never really. That's why I tell people don't go after money, go after the feeling, because you can still manifest said things. Somebody can walk up to you and give you keys to $1 million home. You know what I'm saying? Don't put limits on it and say, okay, I have to make this amount of money in order to
Mm-hmm.
go and buy the house that I want. No, because it can come in so many different ways. So Danielle says, I know people that can barely pay rent but have on designers. So I started wanting to manifest those things when I really don't care. So I'm walking on a path of manifesting what I'm passionate about. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't try to get what people, because what appeals to you or to me isn't necessarily going to, it's your path, right? Um, a dose of introvert says, "What was the turning point or switch that allowed y'all to be consistent and lean on your gifts?"
Let's see. My turning point came when it's a light bulb moment that comes on when you realize that you can manipulate energy.
Yeah, buddy,
And you're like,
it's
yo,
that
it's
part.
that magician. Exactly, it's that magician energy. The magician card is number one. The full card is zero. Magician is number one in tarot. But it's when spirit has given you all the tools: the pentacle, the sword, the cup, and the wand, and you start to use it, and you're like, whoa, did I just do that?
Mm-hmm.
And you start to see that the more you use it, the more it strengthens. Or that old saying, use it or lose it. The reason why your manifestations are inconsistent is because you're not using it.
Right.
You're not
You're not
consistent.
using those tools yet.
Um, exactly. And so yeah, when I started to really see the things that I was wanting coming my way, it's more motivation. Like I said, I wasn't big on meditation at all, but now I can't go a day without meditating. I can't.
Yeah.
Physically, I feel it. I'm like, man, I need to go meditate. It starts to itch. You start to get that itch under your skin. I'm like, so the more you have a spiritual routine that honors things that you love to do, like teacher, hers is spiritual baths. I love a good spiritual bath too,
Yeah.
but mine is the beach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm jonesing to get to the beach. Like I gotta get there. So, your consistency comes with you creating a routine that you enjoy, and that helps you to see results.
Right. Yeah, that foundation is so important. And Karika and I were talking about this the other day. I find when I get off of my daily rituals, which is my spiritual baths, it's my meditations, it's scripting. When I stop doing that stuff, my whole life just is in shambles, child. My life just or seems to fall completely apart. So it's really important that you create a ritual or a
Mm-hmm.
routine, however you want to word it, that you do daily, and those things need to become your non-negotiables. Just like you
Non-negotiable.
eat every day, and hopefully take a bath every day, you get up and go to work every day. You need to put that self-care in and that spiritual care in as well. All right, because that's really going to help you to maintain your alignment with the things that you desire to have. Okay, what cleansing can we do on our own besides spiritual baths for the full moon?
Let's see. Me personally, if I wasn't doing a ritual, different cleansings, you can do. Always get a tarot. I feel like always get a reading so that you can kind of get that energy check in.
Yeah.
Um, ask what your spirit guides, what your ancestors want you to know, and they'll tell you things that you need to be working on. For
Hmm.
me, full moons are all about releasing. They're all about releasing
Mm-hmm.
things that no longer serve you. So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
take, you know, even if it's a mental checklist, even if you're not writing it down, write down things that you feel a uncanny attachment to, because you shouldn't be attached to anything. You really
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's people in your life that you need to get rid of, put them on the list. A burn bowl is a great. I love a good burn bowl. I love, look, I done burned many folks and things in a
Right,
damn
right.
burn bowl. That is an ancient ritual where you get yourself a nice fireproof bowl, and you just write out the things that you want to release, and you light them on fire and put them in there, and you let those ashes, you release those ashes to the wind, and you release that energy from you so that you can move forward. That's a great burn bowl. You might do candle work, but like I said, be careful with that. You might do some, you know, like I said, your spiritual baths. I always take a spiritual bath on the full moon, new moon, all of those. Go to the beach, get out in nature, things like that. Yep, yep. Daily. Somebody
Yes.
said daily shower cleanse. Exactly. And
Yeah.
then, you know, make it extra special on the full moon. Put some juju on that. You know, put some flowers in there. Put something that, you know, is special. Get your crystals, put your crystals out so that they can get the, you know, beautiful full moon energy. Your decks out. If there's, you know, sit with your ancestors. That's a great time to really clean up your ancestor altar for those who have them, and really sit with your ancestors.
Mm-hmm. Um, um, what I would say to do is you can clear and release at any time.
Hmm.
The energy of the full moon just makes it stronger and more powerful, right? So if at any point in time you feel like there are some things that you need to release, you can do just that. And don't make it complicated. If you don't want to take a spiritual bath, which I highly recommend, then like she said, write it down. Be honest with yourself, all right? And and really identify where you kind of fall short
Hmm.
and what your thoughts look like. Not your thoughts, but what you think on, right? Because we have close to 70,000 thoughts in a day. Some of them are fleeting, some of them belong to us, most of them don't, right? It's the stuff that you start thinking on that then becomes a problem. Okay, so thoughts come and go, right? They come and they go. But when you start thinking on something, it then can become a worry, which that worry then manifests in your physical. So when you find that you have certain thinkings, right, write those down. If there are repetitive thoughts that you think all the time, they really affect you, then you need to write those things down, right? Like I said, your shortcomings, so to speak, write those things down and then burn them. That's a
Hmm.
very powerful way to clear.
Hmm.
All
Moon
right.
water too. Tell them to make some moon
Yes.
water.
Yes, moon water is amazing. Yes,
Hmm.
and you can pour it on top of your head and just let it flow down your body. Yes, absolutely. Um, Somebody said I will probably miss out on my blessing because I feel like it's a setup. Girl, stop.
See, yeah, and with that
Stop.
attitude and that outlook, you will
Oh my
believe in the
God.
impossible. That, I mean, again, there, spirit is limitless. There, it's infinite,
Right.
um, and we have to kind of break out of this cog-like thinking, this matrix-like thinking, and thinking that we can only see you. You can't see past the nose on your face.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, that's so short-sighted. And spirit is offering you a long range view of a life
Right.
that you want. Like, why are we
Right.
doubting it?
Yeah. Yeah. I like to study highly successful people
Hmm.
because there weren't. My mom was an entrepreneur. She was successful, but she never hit the $1 million mark. Right. Because she would shortchange herself. So because I don't have people physically around me that have highly successful businesses and multiple seven figures making that per year, whatever, I study highly successful people. And there's this guy who says that he went for the fail every day. And
Hmm.
that's how he became successful. So instead of allowing the thought of failure to hinder him, he allowed it to push him.
He
And
embraced it.
that's, huh?
He embraced it.
Yeah, he embraced it and he went for it. He said, I'm going to fail every single day but he never did. He was actually successful. So if you have the mindset of I'm going to fail, then go for the fail every single day. If that helps you be consistent and show up, go for the fail. Go for the fail. What is a good place to start with writing your vision or starting a day? You start. Everybody want to know, where do I start, girl? You just start.
Start. Exactly.
You get a fucking post-it note, a piece of
And do
paper,
it.
and a pen, and write. That's where you start. I have the I Am Manifestation Journal. If you guys go on Amazon and put in my name, you'll see it. You can get that, but you don't have to start with that. Start today. Get the nearest toilet paper and a
And
crayon,
start
like Judge Million say, and start
start
writing down the things
writing.
that you want.
Start writing.
That's where you start. You always start at the beginning. There is no magic pill. There is no magic formula. You start at the beginning. Okay? And then you can upgrade and get you my cute journal. They're very cute if you haven't seen them. Then you can get that, but start with, a piece of paper. Don't
Exactly.
don't feel like it has to be perfect in order for you to start your journey. It's because it ain't gonna be.
Somebody said, I see, yeah, okay, you see that 369. You see
Yeah.
it. Somebody
Yeah.
said, how do you make moon water? Teacher, how do you make yours? And then I'll tell you how I make mine.
It's real. Well,
It's
I
simple.
keep everything simple. Like I
Mm-hmm.
teach very simplistically, and I don't like complicated shit because then I'm not gonna do it.
I'm
So
not
I
going
just
to do
take
it.
a jar. I cleanse the jar with Florida water and some sage or frankincense, whatever I got at the moment. I will take a clear quartz crystal, put it down in there with some purified water. Now, if you want to use tap water, I don't like that,
I
right?
don't like it.
I don't like that. So I take some purified water and you simply put it under outside so that it soaks in the energy of the new moon or the full moon if you need it for releasing, the new moon if you need the water for manifestation. And I leave it out there overnight. Set my intentions. That's always going to trump anything else. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
what do you want to do? What do you want this water to help you to do? Right? You set your intentions. That's how I do mine. Mine real simple.
Okay. So I know that's how she does hers. So the way I do mine is I'll get myself a glass. I always like to use glass because I feel like it has a higher
Yeah,
frequency than plastic.
it does.
So you get you a glass mason jar. You fill it. I do spring water, or like she said, purified water. I don't use tap water because I mean, just no. I don't even drink tap
Just
water.
know.
Just no. And then I'll actually write my intentions on a parchment paper and tape it to, or you can, if that's a mason jar, I will get a Sharpie and write my intentions all over that jar. I'll write my codes.
Mm-hmm.
I'll write, whatever it is that I'm trying to bring in. And I'll actually put a tea light candle and my crystal on top because it's something that you can drink your moon water. Or
Yes.
you can or like she said, you can pour it over your head and kind of bathe with it. So just depending on what you want to do, and I'll set it in the windowsill, or like you said, set it outside if there's a safe place for you to set it outside, and allow it to just kind of embrace the energy that comes with that new moon, full moon. You can do it the waxing, waning, but you can do it. There's a whole entire moon cycle. You
Yeah,
can do
there
this stuff
is.
on. There's a whole
There
entire
is.
moon cycle that you can do
Mm-hmm.
this stuff on,
Mm-hmm.
and you just got to know what each cycle of the moon is
Right.
for, and then write your intentions accordingly. Then the next morning, like I said, that's the first thing I do is I'll speak my intentions and I'll drink my water. I
Yeah.
will infuse every cell in my body with those intentions and
Mm-hmm.
with the power of the moon. So it's very, very simple. It's very simple.
Yeah, it's not hard. So the tools start with um fabulous reword that. That's where I'm falling off the spiritual routine. Teacher, will you save this live? Yes, I will. Your spiritual routine is a non-negotiable. Period.
Hmm.
So as you guys are sitting here on this live with us, y'all need to be writing out the top 5 things that you're going to implement into your routine every single day.
Hmm.
Manifestation, I mean, not manifestation, meditation needs to be in there. Meditation, even if it's for 5 minutes,
Hmm.
meditation
Definitely.
needs to be in there because it's going to help you to realign your energy. And as I said, I study highly successful people. There's not one person that doesn't meditate that I've studied. not one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your spiritual cleanse of some sort, you got to get rid of
Daily.
the energy that you pick up from outside, people pissing you off right in your house. I deal with that shit every day. I gotta take my spiritual bath because I be didn't hurt somebody. Okay, but
Okay.
put those things into your routine. And just like you watch TV every day, I don't, but I know a lot of people do. You might get on the phone and talk to your friends every day. You talk to certain family members every day because they're important to you. Your daily rituals need to be equally as important because they're going to help you to stay in alignment and in vibration with the things that you desire to have. So
Exactly.
aside from meditation and
Spiritual
spiritual
cleansing.
practices, what would be something that you would suggest that they do daily?
Well, again, you know me. I'm big on meditation. For in the work that I do, you have to cleanse daily. Even if I can't take a full bath, I would take a spiritual shower. There's liquid Epsom salt that you can use to kind of cleanse the body, and then splash your Florida water on as you're setting the intentions while you shower. You have to get that energy off of you. The other things that I always do is get out in nature and ground yourself. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, if you can't get to the beach, if you don't have the luxury to be by water, you can go outside and put your feet in the grass.
Yeah.
You can do that. It is important that you connect with spirit on some level.
Mm-hmm.
And we have this vast, beautiful world at our disposal. Why aren't we using it? Go to the park. If you got, a nice little yard or grassy area, just go sit out for a moment. Sit by a tree and ground your energy. Sit in the sun, sunbathe. When I meditate, one of the things that I love to do is I love to lay across the bed with the sun coming smack dab on me and do my meditations then. Not only am I meditating, but I'm connecting to the energy of source. So
Mm-hmm.
those are some of the things that I do. And then also make sure that you do some sort of self care. Um, Self care is spiritual.
It
Self care
is.
is spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Danielle says, I know you've talked about this a bit, Tedra, and you're kind of against it, but how do y'all feel about the whole manifesting a specific person? I am not against manifesting a specific person. I am against manifesting Leroy and Ray Ray, who you know wasn't no good, and you trying to get that joker back in your life. That's what I'm against.
okay. So I always tell my people this: stop limiting spirit, because again, remember, we have this wonderful, beautiful gift of free will. And if
Yeah.
you're trying to manifest somebody who doesn't want to be with you, you're actually manipulating their energy.
And why would you want to be with somebody who don't
Exactly.
want to be with you?
I don't want that. Don't
Yeah.
don't come to me unless you want to be here. So you have to ask yourself, why is there a need for you to manipulate somebody's energy to be with you? There's some sort of deficiency
Yeah.
on your part that's causing you to think that that's okay, and it's
Right.
not. It really isn't. And then, like I said, that person may not even be who you're. I mean, spirit is always going to show up 10 times greater.
Right.
So why am I limiting myself and getting, the, bottom shelf, person when I can have top shelf?
Right. Right.
Somebody asked that they never heard of liquid Epsom salt or Florida water. And as far as spiritual baths, okay, so when you take a spiritual bath, there is no detergents or soaps in spiritual bath. Wash your butt before. Please, please understand. Okay, so
Wash
it's
your ass.
wash your ass beforehand. So you take your shower to cleanse the body first with your soaps and things. Then you clean your space. We were talking about this, and
Yeah.
this is something that, well, it's true. People over here laughing, but it's true. You cleanse the space because that space becomes now sacred.
Yeah.
It almost becomes like an altar that you're working with your energy towards spirit. So you clean your space, then you set your candles if you're using any type of candle work, and then you run your bath water. I like to get mine as hot as I can stand it, and then I like to put my Epsom salt, my Himalayan sea salt, even baking soda is a great tool to use when doing spiritual baths. I like to put a little hint of Florida water in there. You can do your essential oils. You can do herbs. Some people do herbs or boil herbs beforehand, and then they'll dump the whole water in there. So it just depends. Some people, there's another spiritual bath. It's called the white bath or the Blanco bath, which is like a milk and honey bath.
Mm-hmm.
But it is for spiritual development. There's many different ways to take a spiritual bath. But the most important component is that you realize that that is a sacred space and that space is cleansed, and you treat it as such, because you're treating yourself as something that's sacred, which you are. If you just gonna have dirty bathtub rings, what's the purpose?
Not the dirty bathtub. Jesus,
What's the
yes.
purpose?
Yeah, yeah.
What's the purpose?
I like to tell people to keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because if trying to figure out what herbs and spices to use in your bath is going to
I don't.
prevent or stop you from doing it, just stick to
What you
salt.
know.
Yeah, stick to the salt. Keep it really, like I said, your intentions are gonna trump anything else. But you have to make sure that your space has been cleansed, both physically, like with the Clorox and
Mm-hmm.
but then also with whatever spiritual cleansing agent that you use, whether it's sage, yerba batanta, frankincense, whatever it is, you really want to smoke out your space as well and clear any and everything
Energy.
out of there. Because water is a portal, y'all know, right?
Most definitely.
So you got to be careful again when this is a spiritual thing, and you always have to be careful and make sure that you have your protection in place as well. Okay. So if you have crystals like a black obsidian or black tourmaline,
Mm-hmm.
definitely have those in your space as well. I like to burn a white and a black candle when I am taking my spiritual bath as a
Mm-hmm.
form of protection as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, "What is Florida water?" This is Florida water.
It smells so good too.
It does. I love it. You can use it. It's a spiritual cleanse. Okay, so Florida water has been around for hundreds of years. Our people, again, when you go back to our history in this country, when we were, when some of us were brought over here, we came with our spiritual practices. But because those spiritual practices had held weight and had power, it could be detrimental to life if you were caught practicing those. So a lot of what we did, we hid. So Florida water, we hid as it's now sold as a cologne, but
Hmm.
it is a spiritual cleanse that we use. You can clean your floors. Where you can make your mop water, put a little bit of Florida water in there, clean your floors with it, wipe down your counters with it, walls, and help to clean your space. You can also, like I said, put a dash of this in your water. You will always see me, especially when I'm doing readings, cleansing my hands as I'm doing readings with Florida water. It helps to kind of cleanse people's energy off my hands. So yeah, that's what Florida water is. You can get it at Walgreens, Walmart. It's going to be in the men's aisle as an aftershave. That's
Hmm.
where you get that. That's no, don't drink it. You'll die.
No.
Please don't drink it. You'll die. Don't do it. Although in Gone with the Wind, the movie Gone with the Wind, Scarlett O'Hara, she drank Florida water when her husband Frank, what her second husband Frank was killed, and she was at after his wake, and she was in her home, and Rhett Butler came over. She drank Florida water to get the liquor off her breath. But don't do that. Don't be
Don't do
Scarlet.
that.
Don't do
Don't
that.
do that.
Don't do that. So.
You can also get it on Amazon. It's
Hmm.
cheaper.
Hmm.
Typically, it's cheaper, and you can buy it, 3 pack, 6 pack, stuff like that. Because you won't always find it at Walmart or Walgreens.
Hmm.
Because it'll be sold out.
Exactly. You can also another good place. Okay, so Instacart. A lot if you have a lot of like Hispanic or Mexican grocery stores, they carry this,
Facts. Yeah.
and you can get it for like $5 a bottle.
Yeah.
I bought like six of them on Instacart. I was like, thank
Yeah.
you.
Metaphysical stores will carry it too.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you
So
you
there's
can
many places you can get it, but if all else fails, get it from Amazon.
Amazon.
And make sure that you pray over it and set your intentions, as with any spiritual tool.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you're using any spiritual tool, get your sage out, get your Palo Santo, get your frankincense, and kind of run that over it. Kind of run it over it so that it's clean. It's the
Hmm.
same thing if you're doing like candle work. You would always clean those utensils that you're using.
Hmm. Yeah. Do you have any other questions over there?
Let's see if I got any.
If you guys have any other questions before we start wrapping up, go ahead and post them down.
Yeah, if you
I
guys have any.
do. I do want to remind you guys that I do have the course Ready Set Manifest that is in my bio both on Insta and TikTok. If you use the code TikTok all caps, you will save 50%. I also have the Quantum Jump Meditation. I think is
Mm-hmm.
14 or $15 that you guys definitely want to grab. If you don't get nothing else, get
Grab
that.
that. Grab that.
Okay. Grab that. And if you purchase Ready Set Manifest today, I'll go ahead and send you the meditation, okay, for free. All right. Just use code TikTok. All right. Karika and I have something very special that we're not going to go into detail with or about today, but just know we have something super special and we'll chat about it probably when she comes back off of vacation in a couple weeks. Um, so make sure that you guys are following us both and staying close to our stories and our posts
Mm-hmm.
because we will release all of the information really, really soon. Do you have anything that you want to share?
Sure.
Um,
Those who follow me, you guys know we do our tarot readings daily. So if you would like to understand what's going on in your life, again, I know Tedra, she does hers as well. So we can tag team you guys. If you go on my website, you'll see the June rituals. The cleansing one, like I said, is the biggest thing that I'm here to do, is to really cleanse and transmute energy. So if you are stuck, stagnant, not moving forward, make sure you check that out. We also have a summer solstice mega ritual that's like 5 mini rituals in one to help bring in your ancestral abundance. So you might want to check that out, as well as a good old road opener. You look, y'all be sleeping on those road openers,
oh,
but
yeah,
they work. I love a
they
good
do.
road opener. I
Mm-hmm.
open up the road to everything. So that is coming at the end of the month. If you need to book a full reading, you can definitely book a full reading with me on my website. But yeah, you can check me out daily on here and on YouTube. Um, so yeah.
So I want you guys to take away homework because I always give homework, whether it's
Mhm.
on my podcast or whatever. So make sure that you guys solidify your ritual, your daily rituals today, okay?
Mhm.
Um, Start whatever it is that you've been procrastinating on, putting off. Start today. Do take the first step, because you'll be sitting here next year wishing I should have, could have, would have. You know what I mean? Start it.
Mhm.
Like I said, the path becomes clear when you actually start moving. The miracle is in the movement. Okay, remember
Exactly.
that. The miracle is in the movement. So if we don't have any other questions, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Mhm.
We were here a lot longer than I thought we would be.
I know, like an hour and a half. But you know what? I actually set it for an hour and a half. I said, no, it's gonna be an hour and a half. I
Oh,
knew. Yeah, I set it for an hour and a half. So yeah, I thought this was a great opportunity, and I hope you guys learned a lot. I hope your questions were answered to satisfaction, and you have a great understanding going forward of what needs to happen. Action. That's one of the things that I personally had to learn, because I would sit there and I was like, well, why isn't anything happening? Nothing's happening
right.
because you're not moving.
You're not executing on your
Yeah,
part. We
exactly.
co-create. We co-create, right? So we there's always a part that we're gonna have to play in our
Hmm.
lives, in our manifestations. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel because I'm gonna do my best to download this and post it on my channel.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
for those
I'll
of
actually
you,
do the same. Yeah.
yeah, so for those of you who came in late or missed some things, hopefully at least one of us can get it and post it on the channel so that you guys can rewatch the replay. Okay. So again, stay tuned. You guys will be seeing us together a lot. So just stay tuned. Make sure that you're following both of us. And thank you guys again for joining. All right.
Thank you guys.
See y'all next
Yeah.
time. Bye, y'all.